Are you trying to sell a house? Maybe you're trying to buy a house. Maybe you want to do it on your own, or you've been doing it on your own and you're frustrated and you're losing your mind. Well, you don't have to worry about it anymore because my podcast guest today is going to be amazing because all of them are. She's a real estate agent. She's a fantastic lady. She's adorable. She's so much fun. I enjoy being around her. And I know you're going to too. So don't forget to hit the like and subscribe and share this with your friends because the more you do that, it helps the channel. And I hate asking, but everybody does. So there it is. So stay tuned. We're going to have some fun. Hi, I'm Honeygregory, and welcome to my channel, Perpetual Learning, where we're always learning because if you're not learning, you're dying. And today I've got someone who's going to share some amazing knowledge that we're going to do a lot of learning and understanding because it's something we all need. We all need a house, and we all need to get rid of a house. So I've got the perfect person for you today. Her name is Andrea Reeves. She's beautiful. She's smart. She's so sweet. I just adore hanging out with her. She's a lovely lady. She's a real estate agent, and she's now a proud owner of a charming cottage event location, which we're going to hear about here too. So you guys stay tuned to get all the information. So welcome, Andrea.
Hello, good morning or afternoon, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know anymore. What time is it? Oh, it's 1 o'clock. My
It's
gosh.
1 o'clock. It's afternoon.
I've got 5 of these today, so I won't remember what time it is by the time I go to bed tonight. Well, like I said, I always enjoy seeing you at our networking groups and talking to you, and you always have such amazing things and tips. So, right now, everyone is kind of in this weird limbo phase, with the housing market because they're not sure what to do. Interest rates up, they were down, now they're up. The house prices were way inflated, and now they're starting to come down, and people don't know what to do. So, tell us about yourself and then help us out here. Help us figure out what we're supposed to be doing.
Just dive in, right?
Yes. Tell me, tell me.
Well, my name is Andrea Reeves, and I am the broker and owner of Reeves Realty. So I
Oh,
started the company in 2017. So I'm going on my 6-year anniversary with the
nice.
company. And I have been a realtor since 2004. So this coming month marks my 20th anniversary in real estate. So I have a little bit of knowledge of the market, and I have seen it do a lot of things. I was practicing real estate in '08 when our market crashed. So
Yeah, that
um,
was something.
yeah, absolutely. And but I'm also a seventh generation Monroe County resident. So my
Wow.
family has been here for a very long time. And so I know a lot of the ins and outs here. I do practice in Owen and Greene and Lawrence as well. And but I specialize really in Monroe County because that's where I'm from. So I guess so the market. Wow, yeah, that is the topic to dive into. It's been a little bit of a ride over the last really 7 years, but for sure the last few months has thrown everybody off because we have a new normal. We
Mm.
went through the seller's market mania, I guess is how I would call it,
Yeah,
where we
last
had
year was nuts. It was just
yeah,
nuts
we had
last year.
those nuts. We couldn't keep up.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I don't think anyone in our industry could keep up. We have never seen this before. I've talked to 30 and 40-year real estate vets that had never seen that kind of market either. So
Wow.
that was crazy. And now we're shifting into a new normal, which, you always hesitate to use the word normal, but
Yeah, what?
truly,
Yeah, like what is normal, right?
right, right. And in real estate, that can change daily, believe it
Mm.
or not. It can change daily what the market tempo is.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say a normal meaning more similar to the way it has always been historically in Monroe County.
Mm.
And what I mean by that is you're going to be on the market usually a minimum of 30 days before you're receiving an offer. It's not a multiple offer within a few hours situation. So a slower climate. With the interest rates bouncing around everywhere, we lost that big pool when it really wasn't that big, but pretty big pool of buyers
Mm-hmm.
because the ones that don't need to buy and sell just aren't doing it now
Mm-hmm.
because of interest rates. But unfortunately, we still have very low inventory.
Mm-hmm.
So some people kind of want to know the dynamic of that. Do sellers still have the seller's market? Where are we at there? I would say the sellers don't have the market only because there aren't as many buyers.
Mm,
So at the same time, though, they still have a great advantage because there's so few homes on the market.
yeah.
So it's not the crazy, you've got to go above offer asking price, but it's not like the seller has to give their home away either.
Mm,
Meaning the buyer has all the power to negotiate. So it's
yeah.
a it's in this time of year, our market does get slow. The weather is, frigid temps.
Mm-hmm.
People aren't out and as active and as looking at homes right now. If they are, they're looking online. So it
Mm,
is a great, still great time to have your home on the market and it be seen because people are at home looking on the internet.
right.
Um, so I guess that's in a nutshell what I would say is that takes longer to sell your home. And the kind of the phrase I'm using with my sellers when I meet with them is it's going to take more than an interest rate to sell your home.
Yeah, because a couple years ago, it was like people were getting offers like the first day they put it on the market. It was like insane. Like people were like, "Oh my God,"
Right.
because as a divorce attorney, a lot of times we have to, the house has to get sold or neither party wants it or whatever, so they agree to sell it.
Right.
And my gosh, were they making some bucks? But
Yeah, it's a great time to sell.
yeah,
But it's still a great time. You're not going to make above and beyond.
mm,
Like what we saw. I mean, I guess I would say anything sold if it had a
hmm
roof on it. And that's why I use that phrase. It's going to take more than an interest rate to sell your home.
yeah,
Meaning, as a seller, we're going to have to go back to that old school mentality of you need to prepare your home
hmm
and you need to listen to your real estate agent for
hmm
guidance on how to negotiate your deal
yeah,
and what to do to prepare for it. So many times, I think when people go to put their homes on the market, they think they have to do this, they have to do that, and this, and that's that. And sometimes that's true. Sometimes I think we're used to our home and our surroundings, and we don't see things we should see. And
yes,
and then sometimes I think we undersee or oversee as well. I mean, oversee.
hmm
You're worried about this, that, that. It's like, no, no, no. Don't worry about that. That is not something you need to spend time and effort in fixing. This is what you need to be
Well, that was
fixing.
going to be one of my next questions. Is a couple of things. So, like, how does someone find the right realtor, and then how do they prepare their home
Yeah.
so that they have the best opportunity to sell it or buy?
Yeah, I think those are great questions. I tell friends and family alike or common strangers on the street, you pick your real estate agent by know me, like me, trust me.
Know me, like me, trust me. Okay.
That is the motto I get up with every day. You need to know your real estate agent. You need to like them because you're
Mm,
going to be spending time with them. A
hmm
pretty critical 30 to 60 day time frame. And I always tell people you're going to be my best friend for the
Oh,
next 30 days.
well, that's a good
Um,
approach. I like that. Yeah, that's nice.
yeah, so you need to like them
Yeah.
and feel comfortable.
hmm
And most importantly, definitely trust them because
Right.
you have to lean on their knowledge to help you with the biggest transaction of your life. For most people, buying or selling a home is your biggest transaction of your life, and it's a very
hmm
financially important one.
hmm
So, knowing that the person you're working with, like, and trust, that they have some knowledge and education about what they're doing is really important. Because overall, there are over 500 realtors in the Bloomington Board of Realtors.
Wow.
We all do the same thing.
Yeah.
We all help people buy and sell homes. So, how do you choose?
hmm
Choose someone you like, and you trust. And I
Right.
would say for sure, you don't have to jump right in. Talk to that person on the phone. How willing are they to give their time to you, to talk to you, to answer questions? Do you feel that they're knowledgeable about some of the things you've already asked before you just, oh, okay, I'm just gonna, go with this person. So that's my tip. That's what I tell everybody. There are some people you will fit with and you should work with, and there are some people that you won't.
Yeah.
You want to have the best experience, right? And
Right.
so it's just like qualifying a doctor really or anybody. I think it's the same. Your
hmm
attorney, your dentist, it's
hmm
the same type of practice. You're going to be seeing them. The thing with your real estate agent though is that it is a shorter period of time in the scope of your life
Right.
until you buy or sell again in 3 to 5 years. So in some ways that makes it even more critical to select because you're going to be very close working together, talking, and you want it to feel good. When that phone rings, you don't want to be like dodging the call. Oh my God.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
You want to feel good about it and know, hey, I'm in good hands. I don't have to worry, but that's why you hire us.
Right.
So you don't have to worry with the
So
details.
you walk into this house and they've said,
Yeah.
we would like to hire you to be our agent. And you're looking around and you assess the place. And do you typically give them a list of like, here's how what you want you to do? Like you need to declutter or fix something. I mean, how's that work?
Well, the first is probably before I ever walk in the door, the conversations I have on the phone. What is
Okay.
their motivation for selling? Where are they at?
Okay.
Because some people are in a financial situation or a place where they can't do anything. And for me to come in the home and say, you need to paint, you need to hire a carpet cleaner, that is going to be a waste of their time and energy and efforts because it won't meet their financial situation or goals.
I see.
So it's kind of knowing, is this an as is sale? Is this an estate sale? Why are we selling? And what do we have to work with here?
So
How physically able are you to get some of this stuff done? So based on the phone call, if there's someone's like, we're ready, we can do these things, tell us what to do. If I'm in that scenario and I'm at the house and I've walked in the door, the first thing I want you to know and understand is I am for a few moments going to act like the buyer of your home. And I'm walking through with eyes of a critical buyer right now. And I'm going to tell you what I see and what would turn me off or what I will love about your home. So I'm going to dialogue with them all the way through the home. Oh my gosh, I love the bright light of this kitchen. Make sure those curtains are open at showings. That floods this room, or okay, every closet I have open has stuff hanging out of it. This is a no-no because people will think that they have no room for their stuff.
Yeah.
So you need to get a box and we've got to tidy this up. And I tell them, you're going to have homework. Expect to have homework, and I'm going to grade you the next time I see you, which is when I'm going to take pictures of this house and put you on display.
Yeah.
And people get it. They get
Yeah.
it.
People are going to see. People are going to see what a mess you have.
And I tell them, don't take offense. We all live like this.
Yeah.
But when we go to show the world how we live,
yeah,
we got to be a little tighter because we want them to buy this place. So we got to do these. We got to. So, I mean, it's a pretty, I think overall, I try to make it as painless as possible. And in my mind, it's really not. I have seen all kinds of homes in 20 years, all kinds of homes.
Yeah.
So there's nothing that's going to shock or surprise me. I had one family member of a estate sale not too long ago call me and say, oh my gosh, we can't believe this. And they just kept apologizing for what they knew I was going to be walking into. And, like I told them, there's no need for you to apologize for anything. It is what it is. I've seen a lot in 20 years, and it's nothing that can't be sold. That's another thing people sometimes wonder.
Like someplace that's falling down or a hoarder or something, places like that or something.
If it's a situation like that, like right now I have a lot of investors. Investors are very much my best friends right now because there is the ability with the lower pool of buyers for them to be able to come in, and purchase more, if you will. So yes, sometimes I walk in and I see those type of situations and people need to understand all things are sellable.
Yeah.
For the right price.
Right.
Price overcomes all obstacles. Price overcomes all obstacles. That is something I say so much to everybody.
Right.
If the obstacle may just be that you live right by railroad tracks. For the right price, that house will sell.
Right.
Some people are so worried my house is so dated, it won't sell. No, it just needs to be priced right.
And there's a lot of people now, they want that retro look. They'll be like, oh my gosh, I've always wanted that. I'm moving in there.
You're talking to one who loves retro. And honestly, in my profession, those homes that I get to walk in that have been untouched for, I would say 30 plus years, I am just drooling over.
I know, right? It's got those 1950s or 1960s cabinets. And I mean, those are real wood. Today they give you some particle board, but then you walk in there and like, that's real wood. Oh my God, that really existed. Because like my grandpa was a carpenter and the cabinets in my grandma's kitchen, you would have fallen in love with. He made them by hand out of real wood, and those things were heavy as lead, I'm sure. But and they were every door handmade.
Yeah, and tile today. It's funny. I've been going on of the ranch homes built in the 50s and 60s in town, and they had that all pink tile or all green tile in the bathrooms halfway up the wall, and then the coordinating tile on the floor. And it's like people are paying a fortune for that right now.
I know.
So great you liked it. It's so in right now. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. And and everybody doesn't want this or have the same needs,
Mm-hmm.
in what they're buying.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have to keep that in mind too. You may have an idea of what you would want, but the buyer you're thinking, I got to get rid of my house. Nobody would want it. Well, guess what? There's somebody out there that is absolutely going to love your house,
Yeah.
that it has everything that it wants. So
Yeah.
it's, a big, how would I say, it's individual.
Yeah.
Every home is so specific. And I think that's why working with the right real estate agent is so vital.
Yeah.
When Zillow became popular, I was a
Mm-hmm.
realtor prior to Zillow even existing. And I remember hearing in my industry, it's going to replace real estate agents. They're not going to be needed because people will know the value of their home based on what Zillow is going to tell them. It's not the same. I'm
Yeah. You
sorry,
can't.
Zillow doesn't know this market. Zillow doesn't know the neighbor. Zillow doesn't know the area that your home
Yeah.
is in. Zillow hasn't walked through your home to see the
Yeah.
improvements that you've
Yeah.
done in your home.
Or that it's fallen
Um,
down. I get that a lot in divorce situations where
mhm,
there's been turmoil and no one's been fixing things up lately, and now they need to
mhm.
sell it. So I'm sure you see a lot of divorce situations. That's a real
Yes,
picnic, I'm
I have.
sure.
I have. It is, a challenge, but
Yeah.
honestly, I mean, I love a challenge in any
Yeah.
home. I
Yeah.
really do. I may be a real estate agent, but really what I do is I'm a helper and I'm
Mm-hmm.
meeting a need. You
Mm-hmm.
have a need to buy or sell a home, and I want to help meet that need. So, yes, the circumstances around every sale are different. Sometimes there are a little easier going than others.
Mm-hmm.
Usually in a divorce situation, it's not always you know, what is the word I'm looking for? Both parties are always on board.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a little hostile.
Mm-hmm.
And so I play therapist and middleman, as I'm sure you know how to do, where, okay, well, let's put that aside. We need to focus on, and I'm usually making two separate phone calls to two separate people and getting two separate opinions versus when you're working with, two people on board, whether that's a husband and wife or whatever the partner's relationship is,
Mm-hmm.
they're on board and you're talking to them together and we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
So, and again, that's the great thing about doing this for many years as I have, I guess. I've worked with so many, I can pull from a thread of knowledge of the past and say, okay, here's how we need to handle it. But overall, the process is the same.
Yeah.
The process is the same. The people are different, the homes are different. But what I do has some consistency to it, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
And I love it. I've been doing it for 20 years. You can't work, in my opinion, any profession for 20 years if you don't love it.
No.
Um, so, because especially real estate, I mean, people come and go in it all the time. We've had an influx of realtors come in because, oh my gosh, you can make so much money. Houses are just selling. And, we had a boom in our numbers and our board, and that number will go down because that's not a typical market. And that's
Yeah.
not what we really, well, one, it's not what we do. And two, it's just not common. And it's not going to be that way again for some time. Real
I
estate.
noticed. I noticed that during COVID, everyone went online and got their real estate license.
I'm sorry, you cut out.
Oh,
What did you
sorry. I
say?
noticed that a lot of people went online during COVID times and got a real estate license.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
So
sure.
easy.
And the classes you can take online now to get your
Mhm.
certifications and whatnot. But a lot, I've seen a lot of change in the industry in 20 years. Like every profession, things change and contracts change, and the standard that we're held to changes, and different things like that. But yes, we had an influx at the time, and you have to have some resilience, I think, to stay in the industry and to be here, because it really is a profession that, and you'll see that in this type of market, you have to love it to stay
Mhm.
in it, in my opinion. You have, if it's not where homes are flying off the shelves, so to speak, market, you're going to have to love it to keep doing it, because Lord knows the money isn't like it is in that kind of market on a regular basis. So you
Yes.
got to be there for something else. And like I said, for me, I think it's always been, I'm helping meet a need for
Yeah.
somebody else.
Yeah.
And that feels good. It makes me feel good at the end of the day.
So tell me, or give us some tips on how you can maximize your proceeds from the sale.
I
What
think
can people do? What can people do to
I,
try to get the most out of their house?
I think probably starting with a realtor that you select. I mean, negotiations, what that dollar moves to or how it moves. Some people think that the purchase price or the agreed upon price of the sale of the home is the only thing that matters, and it's not. There's so many other stipulations in a contract between a buyer and a seller that can maximize your profit or may benefit you in other ways. And I'm talking about timeframes for closing. I'm talking about the negotiations on the home inspection, how much you will or won't give, concessions on closing cost for the potential buyer. There's a lot of other factors that come into play that end up taking away from your net than just that number at the top. You may get the number at the top, but then if you lose the negotiations everywhere else in the contract, you didn't really do that great. So I think probably working with a realtor who knows how to represent, fight for you, and get you what you want is very important. If you're a seller, you're going to maximize your profit by making certain that the home that you have been told by your real estate agent what to do to prepare your home for the market and make that happen. There's nothing worse. There's no more quicker bullet to the head in selling your home than rushing and putting your home on the market or not getting guidance on how it should appear the moment people walk in the door, because the first 30 days are the most critical days on the market for your home to sell.
Interesting. Why is that?
Every day after 30, because it's the first impression time frame. And after that, after 30 days, homes get the stigma, something's wrong with them. Why haven't they sold?
Nobody wants that house.
Nobody wants it to already be gone. What's wrong with it? They're looking for some hidden danger there that they think is being hidden or doesn't exist. And unfortunately, sometimes it's just, it wasn't conditioned appropriately for the price that was being asked. And so it's setting. So if you want that high price, you need to prepare for that.
So more expensive, luxurious homes, are those harder to sell?
In our market, yes, they are harder to sell.
In the Bloomington area. Yeah, there's not a whole lot.
Yeah. I would say in Monroe County in general, there are less buyers who are buying in the 500,000 plus home range. On the flip side, what used to be an expensive home, which I would say is 300,000 and up, is now the common price range of home.
Yeah.
So we got to say, when we talk luxury, well over 500,000. But we still don't have as many buyers in that price range as 300,000 and below. Right. So it will take longer to sell the house. Yes. It doesn't mean it's not going to sell. It just means you need to definitely be prepared and coached as a seller. It's probably going to take one. And I talk a lot about choosing the right realtor because how many factors is this coming out here, how important it is. Understanding having your finger on the market to know the tempo, meaning you work this as a full-time job. This is your number one gig to understand. I'm looking daily at that heartbeat of real estate because it's going to change daily. Yeah. And you need to know, when do I reduce my price? When do I not? How high a price should we list, or should we be here? Sometimes, and for the most part, I would say people have an unrealistic expectation of pricing.
Yeah. And I've noticed a lot of people will come to me and they'll come to me and say, well, Zillow said my house was worth $1 million. And my agent says, it's worth 200. And I'm like, well, no, Zillow's not always right.
Yeah. Why is that? But it takes, knowing, because pricing the first 30 days is so critical because it's its first time frame, its first debut to the world. I'm on the market and here I am. And so its condition needs to be good and its price needs to be right. Price, again, overcomes all obstacles. And if you're priced correctly and you've prepared the home, you should get that high yield.
And how do you determine the price?
Well, I think it's really multiple factors. I like to say it's not rocket science, but it is. It has its own science to it. What I do as a real estate agent is I look at what has sold and what is currently out there. So we're looking at your competition, what's on the market. If I had $250,000 to spend, and that's the price I've determined your home is, let's say, what else could I buy for $250,000? What's going to set your home apart? So competition is very important. Yeah. And then we look at the sold data. So what most like and comparable within the last few months in the same area has sold similar to your home, because that's the hardcore data. And, a lot of people want to know that want to know what their home is worth, and they wonder the difference between a realtor and what a appraiser does,
Mm-hmm.
because those are different values for a home.
Mm-hmm.
And an appraiser only looks, what I say, is in the rearview mirror. So they're looking at sold data only. They want the
Mm-hmm.
hardcore facts. What sold for what?
Mm-hmm.
And realtors look at both. We're going to look in the rearview mirror for that hardcore fact of what's sold, but it's also important to know what else is out here in front of me that somebody else may buy over mine.
Mm.
So it's looking at the comparables is the part of the job that you're doing. But then we got to take into account a lot of other factors: the current market condition, that neighborhood, and the condition of the home.
Mm-hmm.
The condition of
Mm-hmm.
the home really is huge. If you've bought a home and lived in it, like you were saying, 15, 20 years, and you've done nothing to it,
Mm-hmm.
I can't, even though it's exactly like the one that sold down the street, it's a ranch home, it's the same square footage, but those people updated it, that
Right.
you can't change those numbers. They're there. So
I have a question
that's
about,
how values determined. I mean, several factors, but
so I have a question about, sometimes people buy a house and they'll put the cheapest stuff they can find from Lowe's, but it's been updated
mhm.
versus someone will come in and they'll put, high quality wood and high quality cabinetry and things like that in the house. So are they under remodeling or over remodeling? Is there such a thing?
Yes. Quality overall is still quality.
Uh-huh.
So real hardwood floors are still going to get more price than laminate hardwood floors. Solid surface granite countertops are still going to get more than a nice looking fake out laminate that looks like a marble or a granite.
Mm-hmm.
So quality still, you get more for quality, but you can over update your home.
Okay.
If you are the most updated home in that neighborhood that you live in, it's going to be very hard struggle to get some buyer to want to live there, because in the long run, all the homes in the neighborhood aren't up to the standards yours are. Versus if
Right.
that same home was in a neighborhood where every house was updated, does it affect and change its price? Yes, it
Wow.
does. And it seems so bizarre, but because people think, if I'm going to spend this amount of money and have this kind of dated home, I also want these kind of neighbors, because I want
Mm-hmm.
to maintain the value of my home. That's
Mm.
another thing that, affects value.
Mm-hmm.
Who is on the other side of the street of you?
Yeah.
Neighbors play a huge factor in selling your home. People, I mean, I get feedback from other agents. They were turned off by the neighbor. They wouldn't go in the house, or they felt the neighbor was too junky next door. Or so sadly, you can have a really nice home, but if the neighbors next to you aren't upkeeping their properties, it can affect the value of your house. Again, it doesn't mean your home won't sell,
Mm-hmm.
but we're talking about maximum yield of potential. It could have gotten more if those things hadn't been such a hurdle,
Yeah.
to an average buyer.
What
And
about,
buyers are,
sorry, go ahead.
go
Oh, sorry. There's a little bit of delay, so I apologize. Um,
ahead.
what about HOA, home, what's it?
Homeowners associations,
Homeowners
HOA.
HOAs. Does that affect it? Because some are really cheap and some are really expensive. Or is it just typically you
That's a hard one.
kind of expect whatever kind of
I
neighborhood
would
it's
say it
in?
depends on the buyer. It
Okay.
depends on the buyer. When you're looking at neighborhoods that have homeowners association dues,
Mm-hmm.
okay, because you can have an association and not have dues. But
Mm,
if you
okay.
have dues, um, so they're paying to maintain a certain amount of things: road, snow and ice removal,
Mm-hmm.
the lamp post, right? Those are what are covered under home association fees. It is interesting how some neighborhoods have higher ones than other, but some, they're covering different things naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it depends on the buyer whether that's a turnoff to them or not, and what their monthly budget is.
Mm-hmm.
If they only have so much money and the majority of that needs to go toward their mortgage, and then this place has high HOAs, it can put them out of their comfort zone for what they're able to finance, and it's not a good option for them. Or
Yeah.
they're just a buyer who says, I don't want to pay $295 a month for this.
Yeah.
And then that's a discussion with them. Okay, well, then maybe you don't need to be in a neighborhood with a homeowners association. Maybe you do want to mow your own lawn, or maybe you do want to keep your own areas, because common area is part of that HOA fees a lot of times too, upkeep. So It depends on what people are looking for. And they're all over the place in our town. It's
Yeah.
specific to that neighborhood, what they're
Yeah.
going to cost. And
Yeah, I've
again, what's
noticed.
your life?
I've
Yeah.
noticed.
And what's your lifestyle? Like, are you really at an age or just somebody who doesn't like doing lawn work and all that? Then, yeah, you might want to be in a condo or a neighborhood with an HOA association. We just got to find one in your budget, you know? So, and overall, pricing, we're talking about budgets. Housing, the prices of housing has went up across the nation. It isn't just people wonder, is this just a Bloomington thing? Is it just even in our surrounding counties, prices are up. Now, are they all at the level of Monroe? No, they're not, but they have drastically went up. So yeah, our new average median price range home is not what it used to be. And I think that the other question people have right now a lot I'm hearing is, well, when's it going to go back down? When are prices going to be more, when are they going to be more reasonable, And
yeah, everything's
that's
going up
great.
and income's not.
Exactly. And that's right. And that is sorry, I had a thing on my screen.
Okay. I just want to tell you, we got 8 minutes. We got 8 minutes. And I do want to leave a little bit of time for you to tell us about your cottage. So go ahead.
Oh my gosh. Well, and here's the thing. This correlated so perfectly with what I do as a realtor. I'm in and out of homes every day. Obviously, I have a love and a passion for homes. My dad was a builder when I was a child growing up. So I've been around him a long time. I guess I just didn't really realize until I was 24 and I started out as that real estate assistant and got into the industry as an assistant before I ever acted as an agent on my own. But I was in search of a home and I found, and I love the 1940s. My grandparents are of that era. And I grew up hearing all the fantastic stories of the World War II and the 40s. So I've always loved it. I came across a home that was built in 1941.
Nice.
And it had been owned by the same family for 75 years.
Oh my goodness.
Not seen very often in this community with IU and all of the wonderful companies that keep our community alive.
Right.
There's a lot of movement in and out of homes. And so to find one, and so it had pretty much been virtually untouched since the 50s.
Oh my goodness. What a treasure.
It was. I did a complete restoration in 8 months on the home.
8 months. Oh my goodness, girl.
8 months. And I was going through my breast cancer treatment during that time.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, well, it was God was good, and I am 2 years cancer free and doing well. But, yes, but it was a lot looking back now. How did I do? I general contracted the complete renovation in 8 months while doing radiation and running my own real estate company. So,
oh my gosh, you're amazing. See, you're amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing. I love you.
But so the cottage has transformed into the comforting cottage, is what I call it.
Comforting?
Because it was a comfort to me during that difficult time of my life.
Yeah.
And I really did need the project. It was a good distraction from everything
I was going to say, I bet that helped you get through it.
It did. And I was looking to my future and a home. And then out of that, I started enjoying life and celebrating life more and having all my friends and family here. Nice. And I started hearing from them, you need to share this with everybody else. You need to share this with everybody. So I made it an official business. Nice. You can come to the comforting cottage and have tea and spend 2 hours and make a memory with your family and see this completely renovated 1941-year-old home, which I kept as authentic as I could, but bring it up to modern times so I could live and work here. And when I say that, I mean all the original lights, all of the doorknobs, all of the doors, all the original hardwood I had refinished. I had the pine wood trim, and every contractor told me absolutely do not do it. I had it all taken down, stripped and sanded, the holes filled in, and re-stained and put back in the house. Wow. I did not just throw it out and buy new trim for the house. I have the 100-year-old trim in the house. House is 82 years old, but we know the trim's older than that.
Probably higher quality than what you'd buy now,
Oh, exactly. And I mean, I wasn't in it for what was the cheaper route. I felt a connection to this house that she needed some love and attention like I needed at that point in my life.
Yeah.
And I call her she. I think she's a female. She has a hot pink door.
well, of course it's a girl then. Why not? Yes, well, I mean, boys like pink too. I'm not trying to be discriminating here, but it sounds like a girl.
It's my color and it's my company color. So, to me, it was a natural thing. It needs a pink door. But anyways, yes, I love it. You can find it on Facebook, The Comforting Cottage and the companycottage.com, its Facebook page, should launch this week. I'm working with the website
good for you.
developer, and he says he's wrapping it up this week. But
Nice.
it is the companycottage.com if you want to check back in and see if it's live.
Okay.
Facebook. And then I create events on eventbrite.com. So you can search the Company Cottage for events that you can just book,
Yeah.
or any girlfriend party, birthday party, friend get together you want to host, just reach out to me.
Nice.
My number is 812-345-1247.
Say it again.
So you
say it again.
It's 812-345-1247. So
Awesome.
you can reach out to me directly and book the house.
That's fantastic. So if they need a real estate agent, how do they find you there?
Well, I'm AndreaReeves.com.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a Facebook, Andrea Reeves Realtor, as well. So those are the two. And I have an Instagram page as well, Andrea Reeves Realtor on Instagram.
Okay.
And again, reach out to me on the phone. It's 812-345-1247.
Wonderful.
And yeah, I guess that's kind of me in a nutshell. I'm doing both and loving it. And I love being with people. Obviously, both of these things that I do are just to be around people. And the Company Cottage is just like, it's for fun. I tell people the moment it's no longer fun, I won't do it.
And you've just got that perfect personality for it too. I just love it. And I saw your pictures. It's a beautiful place and you've done an amazing job. And I'm so glad you're healthy and doing great. And the good Lord has blessed you. Wow, we're almost out of time. I can't believe it. Just zooms by.
I know. Where does it go?
I know. It's hard to believe. 30, 40 minutes gone.
Well, that's because I definitely feel like I know I'm talking with a friend. And so you made it painless and enjoyable. And so I really appreciate you letting me come on.
Well, I love that you reached out to me. I've always been saying to people, come on. And then you reached out.
I know you are.
Thank you. I'm so glad. It's such a pleasure to have you. So thank you so much for coming on my show. And I hope that this information benefits a lot of people because I know it will. And you're amazing. Girl, I got to get back into NTI because I have been absent the last couple of months.
Yes.
I've been sleeping in.
I want to see you. So come. And appreciate you and what you do. And I love how you say if you're not learning, you're just like dying.
Yeah, you're stagnant. Yeah, you're stagnant. Yes. You got to keep learning. Yeah. I talk to people all the time and they don't have a clue what they're so focused on, one thing and they're not. I'm always telling my daughter too, I was like, well, what do you know about this? I don't know. I'm like, well, there's the problem. You don't know. Go find out. So
you need an opinion on this. You need to stretch out a little bit. Yeah. I agree. I've always said if you're not growing, you're decaying. Yeah, exactly. I mean, pretty much what you said. If you're not learning, you're dying.
Yep. And you got to use that brain. I don't want to die of dementia. So you got to use that brain, use it or lose it. Right.
And hey, life is so short. Yeah. Let's fill it up with knowledge and love and, just live it to the fullest. And you're not going to do that if you're not expanding yourself, putting yourself.
My mantra to myself is peace, love, joy, happiness, abundance. And I say that to myself multiple times throughout the day. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Not mantra, but, what do we say that? It's
I feel it, affirmation or whatever.
Affirmations. Yeah. That's it. Those are great affirmations. Yes.
All right, girl. It's going to cut us off. Love you. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see you. And God bless. Talk to you later. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.